I call this meeting to order. Please rise for a flag salute and moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Good evening. Roll call, please.
Okay. Commissioner Morose?
Present.
Commissioner Pollock-Rude? Present. Commissioner Serco?
Present.
Commissioner Sotile?
Present.
And Commissioner Edison?
Present.
All commissioners.
Thank you. Welcome to the El Cajon Planning Commission meeting. This meeting is being live streamed on the City of El Cajon website. Appeals of final decisions of Planning Commission made this evening must be filed in writing with the City Clerk before 5 p.m. Friday, August 25th, 2023, and must include the payment of a filing fee. If you wish to speak on either a non-agenda or agenda item, please fill out a request to speak card located by the agenda and turn it into the secretary, who will call you up to speak when the agenda item comes up for public comment. We ask that you give us your name, spelling your last name. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. The displays on the podium, as well as other monitors in the chambers, will show time counting down. At 30 seconds, the podium clock readout will turn red, signifying you have 30 seconds until the end of your time. Applicants and individuals representing groups of people may be allowed more time if appropriate. All public hearing comments should be addressed to me as the chair of the commission and not to individual commissioners or staff members. Please turn off all electronic devices if you have not done so already. Pursuant to City Council Resolution 114-79, a commissioner who has received evidence related to a matter before the Planning Commission other than an unescorted view of the subject property is required to disclose such information. All right, so at this time we will take comments from any member of the public on any item of business within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda. Under no state law, no action can be taken on items brought forward under public comment, except to refer to staff for administration or place it on future agenda. Is there anyone that would wish to address public comment? Okay, seeing that there's none, we're going to move on to consent calendar. Single motion will cover all items on the consent calendar. Does the commission wish to pull any items?
No. No.
All right. Does staff wish to pull any items?
No changes from staff.
Okay, great. All right.
I move to adopt the minutes as
Okay.
recorded. I second it.
Motion made by Commissioner Serco, second by Commissioner Sotile. Please vote, and I did review the minutes as well, so I'll go ahead and vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote of members present.
Okay, great. First public hearing we have tonight is agenda item number 2. It is 1274 Oakdale Avenue. It is the Best Inn and Suites. Considering amendment or revocation of conditional use permit number 252 for a lodging establishment. And it is CEQA exempt, and staff recommendation is approve amendment.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So again, this is a request to consider an amendment or revocation of conditional use permit number 252. That is for the lodging establishment at 1274 Oakdale Avenue, and the motel is branded as Best Inn and Suites. Just as a reminder, this request was initiated by the Planning Commission at your May 2nd, 2023 meeting. So the site is located on the north side of Oakdale Avenue between Oakdale Lane and North 2nd Street, with the boundary for the site shown in yellow on this slide. The site is 1.3 acres in size and does include 32 motel rooms and a caretaker unit, and the buildings are centrally located on the site and then surrounded by parking areas and driveways. The site is governed by Specific Plan Number 51, which originally governed all the properties on the north side of Oakdale Avenue. That includes the vacant lot on the west, the motel, the IHOP restaurant to the east, and then the oil change business at the corner of 2nd Street. When the specific plan was approved, it did require a conditional use permit for the motel, and it was all the way back in 1967 when conditional use permit number 252 was approved. The other surrounding uses just include Interstate 8 to the north and then residential and commercial uses to the south. So here, just for additional reference, I just want to provide a street view of the property from earlier today. This shows the entrance of the motel when viewed from the easterly property line and then looking to the northwest. So at the May 2nd Planning Commission meeting, the lodging establishment's deemed approved status was revoked, and then the Planning Commission directed staff to schedule a public hearing to consider either an amendment to conditional use permit number 252 or the revocation of the conditional use permit. There was additional recommended actions by the Planning Commission that are shown here. The Planning Commission requested that the operator prepare an operations and management plan, complete property maintenance, resolve property building code violations, sign an affidavit acknowledging the requirements of the deemed approved lodging ordinance, complete human trafficking training, and then provide monthly reporting regarding emergency housing placement program. Staff is happy to report that all these items have been completed. The operations and management plan has been submitted and reviewed by the police department. General maintenance of the property has been completed. The building official also completed an inspection of the property, and the applicant has submitted plans for a building permit to address the previously identified violations. Additionally, affidavits and human trafficking certificates have been submitted, and the monthly reports regarding emergency housing placement programs have also been received. So staff also conducted a review of calls for service between April 1st of 2023 and July 1st of 2023. So this was the 3-month period following the original notice of violation and following the May Planning Commission meeting. So during this time, there were a total of 11 calls for service related to nuisance activities and medical calls, which when annualized over the 3-month period, that would equate to 1.3 calls per room. So that still remains above that threshold that the Planning Commission and City Council set of 1 call per room per year. But the calls for service for the location are on a downward trajectory. At the previous hearing, they were at 1.6 calls per room per year. So we're moving downwards towards 1.3. And then in addition, they're continuing to implement their operations and management plan. So we see it as a positive that they're moving in the right direction. This slide includes the staff recommendation, but before I get to that, I wanted to note that after the publication of the agenda, staff did receive a comment regarding the prohibition of weapons in the operations plan. After considering the comment, staff did prepare an amended resolution, which has been provided to you at the dais. The amended resolution just notes that any weapons-related issues shall not be grounds for revocation of the conditional use permit, and therefore preserving individual rights. Staff has provided a copy of the amended resolution to the applicant and the attorney representing the applicant as well. So staff is recommending that the Planning Commission approve an amendment of conditional use permit number 252 as reflected in the amended resolution on the dais, and then for the Planning Commission to direct staff to schedule a review by the Planning Commission of the conditional use permit in approximately 180 days. And that's really just to confirm that we're continuing on a downward trajectory for the calls and the operations and management plan is sufficient. So that concludes staff's presentation. Happy to answer any questions.
A question. I know that the calls for service can be a number of things. Do we have a breakdown on what those 11 calls were?
The 11 calls were, there was nuisance-related calls. I didn't provide the exact calculation, but it was about 50-50. On medical calls and nuisance-related calls.
Sure. So, question is, if I have a problem on the sidewalk in front of that place, and there's 2 people fighting, and a call comes in, does that go towards that data that says there was a nuisance call? Because that's your address, right? There's people fighting outside the hotel. Does that part of that data? I'm just curious.
It would not be included in those calls for service.
Okay,
We've tried to be very diligent about our reviews of the calls for service. So when I pulled all of the calls over that 3-month period, there was a total of 29 calls. So we excluded 18 of those. So anything that's like a traffic stop in the street, there were calls from the adjacent residential properties related to like homeless individuals that were on the sidewalk. Oh. So we've excluded all of those. We're looking precisely at the ones that are related to where like the reporting party is an employee or it's a reporting party is someone that's staying at the motel. If there's any cause for us to not be able to confirm that that call is related directly to the operations of the site, we've been excluding those.
Okay. So you said 50% medical, though, on the 11.
I believe it was 6 and 5, so yes.
Okay. Any questions?
You mentioned that there was a building permit in process to address some of the other issues. If I recall correctly, one of them was a balcony that had been converted. When you were saying that the conditions were being taken care of, was one of those removing the balcony, or is that part of the building permit?
The building permit includes permitting some of those storage areas.
Okay.
It's the plans are going through plan check now, but there's conditions in there to have it, stucco to match the building. Because I think you remember from the pictures, it was wood siding with the painting kind of flaking off. So they've taken action and submitted that building permit.
Okay.
And they're going to preserve most of those storage areas, but now they'll be permitted per the building code because those previously weren't enclosed with a permit.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
Anybody else have questions? All right. Well, thank you for working with the applicant. I mean, it looked like they really worked hard to get everything done. Their management plan was was 4 or 5 pages, so it wasn't just something they threw together. I saw that. But moving with the city, calls for service down, that's what we would hope for. Any other comments, questions, concerns? All right, well, do I have a motion? Well, let's open public hearing first. Do we have any speaker cards?
Yes, we do. We have one.
Great.
Pooja Patel.
Good evening. I'll keep it brief. I'll just echo what Mr. Alvey was stating. The hotel owner is continuously committed to adhering to the requirements of the Planning Commission and has been taking huge steps in limiting the number of calls for service. As you mentioned, there's about 50-50 on medical and nuisance-related calls. So the hotel owner is working towards slowing those down. And at the same time, right now, given the summer period, there's a higher occupancy number at the property as well. So we're hoping to continue achieving the goal of 1 call per room as the year goes on. And we do agree with the Planning Commission's recommendations as well, and we'll continue forward. Thank you.
Any questions for the applicant? Okay, great. Thank you. Anybody else?
No more speaker cards.
All right. Well, at this time, I'll make a motion to close public hearing. All right. Motion made by Commissioner Moreau, seconded by Commissioner Rude. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
Great. All right. Well,
I was going to suggest a 6-month or 1-year review, and the planning department already put in the 6 months, so I think that's a good time to look back. In 3 months, they've already made significant improvement. In another 6 months, it'll have been almost a year, so that's a good time to review it.
I think so. Yep. Anybody else, commissioners?
Well, when I read this agenda item, the weapons came out at me because of the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. However, people do have property rights, and within their property, they can restrict certain things that they want. So I'm in agreement with the person having the property rights to eliminate that right that people have in general in public.
Yeah.
And I do like the way that it's phrased so that the property, the lodging establishment, if they don't catch weapons on the premises, if there's a call for service, somebody attacked somebody with a weapon, it's not the hotel's fault that somebody brought a weapon to the hotel, whether they're a guest or not. So,
You can't frisk people. So,
no.
yeah. Okay, great. All right. Well, do I hear a motion?
I'll motion to move to adopt the next resolution in order.
Check your microphone.
Oh, my microphone is not on. There we go. I'll move to adopt the next resolution in order approving the CEQA exemption and an amendment of the CUP number 252, subject to the conditions stated earlier.
I second it.
All right.
And just
Motion.
sorry, Mr. Chairman, for
Yeah.
clarification, that's the amended resolution
Was that-
presented at the dais?
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right. Motion made by Commissioner Pollock-Rude, seconded by Commissioner Sotile. Please vote.
Okay, motion carries by unanimous vote.
Great. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for all the hard work you're doing. I hope it pays off as well for you, attracting some better clientele, and we look forward to you continue to do business here. Thank you. All right. Agenda item number 3 is administrative determinations report. We're just here to discuss and accept it. So,
Thank you, Honorable Chair and Commissioners. My name is Sable Beltran, and I'm a junior planner with the Community Development Department. This item is a summary report regarding administrative decisions made since February of 2022. Chapter 1710 of the Zoning Code requires that staff report to the Planning Commission regarding administrative decisions, including director's determinations, minor amendments, and substantial conformance reviews. Since the beginning of 2022, a total of 17 determinations have been issued. The decisions cover a wide variety of requests and include several commercial building upgrades and project modifications, as well as wireless antenna upgrades, stormwater facilities, and education uses at Shadow Mountain Community Church. The recommendation from staff is to accept the report. Mr. Alvey will respond to questions regarding any of the determinations.
well, any questions for staff? Yeah.
All right, I've got questions on 3 things. The first one is the Parkway Plaza out parcel redevelopment, demolition of existing retail building, approval of new restaurant building, and reconfiguration of a previously approved drive-through restaurant. Is that the old bank building that's on the corner of Johnson and Fletcher Parkway?
Yes. So it was that was most recently, I think, a Sprint wireless phone sales building. It was proposed to be demolished and for a restaurant to replace it there at the corner, and then a drive-through restaurant was also approved. It was actually a minor amendment that was approved in the last cycle when we did the last minor amendment reviews back in the beginning of 2022. This was a refinement to that plan because of the restaurant layout changing and a small refinement to the drive-through. But since that time that it was approved, the property has changed hands, and a new property owner has confirmed receipt of the minor amendment approval documents, but they haven't taken any action on it.
Okay. I was like, I didn't remember any of this. Like, okay, cool.
So the new owner, how long ago did they switch ownership? Do we know?
I want to say probably 3 to 4 months ago.
Okay.
The new owners have been participating in some of the city council visioning sessions that they've had with regards to Parkway Plaza, and they've been in contact with community development as well as the city manager's office on trying to look at ways to improve Parkway Plaza.
Okay, great.
Sweet. The second one I wanted to ask about was Arby's. It says facade modifications. Last time I drove by there, it looked like they bulldozed the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's essentially the policies allow for a complete exterior change. It basically was taken down to the studs. So yes, but it didn't warrant a public hearing because they weren't changing or exceeding the square footage additions that would require that. And
Okay.
it was just really a commercial facade renovation. But yes, it's a very extensive facade renovation.
Yeah, okay. That's why I was like, facade. They went farther than that.
Yeah.
The last one was the battery storage, 1527 East Main Street. Is that on the old Which one was it? The 7?
That's the ECTLC
ECTLC.
property.
Okay.
And the battery storage was approved quite some time ago
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
by the Planning Commission. They made some modifications to the design, and then they had some issues with grading, and they wanted to redesign the layout of the batteries in order to accommodate flooding issues and potential electrical issues. So,
Okay. Because I was kind of curious. I haven't seen any forward motion on that, if it was still happening. And then I saw this. I was like, okay, someone is still working on this. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Anybody else? Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you. If you guys have no other questions or concerns, then I make a motion to accept the report.
I will second.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Moreau, seconded by Commissioner Circle. Please vote.
Motion carries by unanimous vote.
All right, any staff communication?
our next scheduled Planning Commission meeting is on the Tuesday after Labor Day. We do not have any items at this time that are scheduled for that meeting, so I will do my best to send out a cancellation notice as early as possible. But if any urgent items come up in the next week, we'll also bring that to your attention. But I'm anticipating that we'll be canceling that meeting.
Okay, great.
Good to know.
All right, anything for staff?
I just want to say that my wife and I visited LA recently, and we were enjoying all of the monopoles that they have in LA. And we were looking at one in particular that they were finally putting leafy things on. I won't call it tree decoration because it did not look like anyone had that in mind. But I want to thank you guys for keeping on our beautiful monopoles in El Cajon. So many of them have gone up, and they are all fitting their areas. They've got designs. We put a lot of pressure on the phone companies, but the designs actually fit the areas. So it's not those silly fan palms that didn't look like it. And the one that they're redoing over on just off of 67, again, they've got great designs. And I want to thank you guys for keeping that line going, because I remember when we were looking at all these monopoles going up and going, these are so ugly. And visiting LA, it reminded me how blessed we are to be in El Cajon.
Well, thank you for that feedback and praise. We do our best to work with them within the confines of the state law and federal law is changing all the time with thresholds on how quickly we process the permits. And I would also just say for my family, I tend to point those things out too, so they have to survive those comments that I make about look at that monopine over there. So thank you.
The corner of Magnolia and Main Street, West Main Street, I see that the building is being erected. Is it the original building that we approved like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yes, it's the same building that was approved. They have an elevation, I think, that's on the Magnolia side of the fencing showing the approved elevation. I think there was a couple minor changes to the facade, but the same project scope.
Right, okay.
I can't remember, was it 6 or 7 apartments? It was actually retail office apartments.
Above the, yeah, the
Right. I
I
apartments
thought
on
it was
top.
it'd be interesting to see how that does, because we wait a long time for that one.
Right.
I want to see what it looks like.
In Europe, that's how they're built.
Yeah.
And
So-
another thing I noticed is El Cajon Boulevard. When I was coming to a meeting, I used to drive through El Cajon Boulevard, a detour, a roadblock. So twice it happened, I got caught in it. So then, last couple of times, I have not been taking El Cajon Boulevard. Then I said, well, it's been about 4 or 5 months. I'm surely it's open. It's not open yet. When is that going to be open, do you think?
I think the last joint meeting that I had with the Public Works Department was that they were getting close to moving on to the next phase when they would reroute the traffic back to the east side of the road. East side is the side of the road that's closed right now.
Right.
So a new traffic pattern is planned to be implemented shortly, but I don't know a definitive time frame.
Okay.
I don't drive it that much. What's going on there? Sorry.
Oh, that's just the construction of the roundabout at Palm and El Cajon Boulevard.
Okay.
So it's traffic calming, angled parking on El Cajon Boulevard, and then the roundabout at the intersection.
Okay, cool. All right. Anything else for staff? All right, do I hear a motion? All right, that's your motion. You say that in the mic.
I motion to adjourn this meeting.
All right.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pollock-Rude, seconded by Commissioner Circo. Please vote. All right, and that's the meeting.